Hey guys, JC4 here, doing a video response sort of kinda thing to the comic figure blog suggestions and tips for action figure collectors. I really wanted to make my own because I have some tips that are different from his that I really wanted to stress. Now, don't be offended if I do a jump cut in between each tip, because I'm probably going to forget and I might want to show you something else for each tip. For the first one though, I just want to say, what do you want? Pretty much. When it comes to action figure collecting, what do you want? Really, it's the broadest question I could ever ask. No, I'm not asking like, do you want this Bumblebee or do you want the Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee? No, I'm not getting that specific. Do you want Star Wars, Batman, Transformers, G.I. Joe, which there's no G.I. Joe here, Spider-Man, Lego, heck, even something like frickin' Mega Bloks, which is something I really don't collect. That's the only Mega Bloks Halo thing I've got, but I felt like putting it here for another question. One thing, it's so important. That is the one thing you really need to ask yourself if you want to get into action figure collecting. What do you want? And a big question to know before you go into it is, why do you want it? Do you want it just because, oh, look at these toys, they're so cool? Or maybe you grew up with this stuff and you really just want to revisit things from your childhood, like that Batman. I've actually had that since my childhood. But, how do you want to collect? Do you want to collect things that are from your childhood, or do you want to just collect and get into action figures because they're cool? I mean, for some people, for most people, action figure collecting is for the nostalgia, but for me, it is for the nostalgia. But for other people, it may be for just the sake of, hey, these are really cool collectibles, and I would really love to buy them. It's pretty much that way. The second tip I have to give is know how you want stuff. Pretty much the how is, how do you want to acquire it, and how do you want to collect. How is some bit of a broad statement. How do you want to collect it could be, say, oh, I only want to do online pre-orders. Oh, I want to go to flea markets and get older stuff. Oh, I want to go to just a retail store and get what I want there. I'm not going to bother online. Or some people, they're just like, I don't even want to bother with retail stores. How do you want to collect? For me, I vary. I mean, I think I got him at a flea market, got him online, him at a really old comic shop. I got him at my comic shop, him at I think like a Walmart. It's it's a very wide variety of places. And it's, for me, the how is not that big of an issue. I do what is necessary, but one of the last tips also, actually, I think I'm going to make it the next tip because it kind of flows nicely. One tip that relates to the how, and it is tip number 3, is look for deals. Please, if you want to actually grow your collection, look for deals, guys. Some people, they're just like, oh, well, that Spider-Man's on eBay for $40. Buy it now! Buy it now! But for me, I'm more like, oh, I want that Spider-Man, I'm going to buy it in a store. Or perhaps, oh, I'm going to go to an online forum for action figure collecting and buy it from a buddy. Online forums, that's another thing. It's really, really important if you really want to find good deals on older stuff to participate in the forums. I really haven't been for a while, honestly. I haven't bought anything from forums in quite some time. So it's a really good resource to use, and it is important to finding deals, but it's not vital. I would say one of the most vital things is build some sort of community. Don't collect alone, because when you're just collecting and buying action figures and you're not posting about it on Facebook or, making a YouTube video or posting on a forum, it's a lot more difficult to not only enjoy your hobby and enjoy it with other people, but also to find deals and to discover things you didn't even know there was. And the next tip number 4, is do research. Research is really, really important to discovering what you might want. Here, let me do a jump cut. One of my favorite toy lines, Transformers Classics, I didn't even know about until quite recently, actually not quite recently as in like 2012, when I was just looking up pictures of Bumblebee toys because I didn't know what I wanted to get. See, that goes back to, how do you want it? I really specifically wanted this Bumblebee toy right here, the old Camaro Bumblebee from the movies. However, while I was looking for images of him, I found an image of this Evolution of Bumblebee 3-pack that had this G1 inspired Bumblebee in the pack. And I'm like, oh wow, that's really, really cool. Did they make more? Sure enough, they made tons more G1 inspired toys. That got me super excited, and I jumped into it at just the right time when they were reinvigorating classics with Generations, because these Generations figures are really good. They're really good. And it's really important to do your research. Now with me, I just stumbled across that. But for other people, it may be an instance of you might want to do some hardcore research on what you're buying, or what you want, because perhaps there's a different version out there that you might prefer that might be cheaper. Let's take a look at the clones, because there's a ton of different versions of specific clones. Say you want to get tons of that guy, and you only know that he's in this really rare battle pack. However, you did your research and you figured out there's a cheaper alternative of the normal Saga Collection clone that is far cheaper and far easier to get in bulk. Do research, guys. Really, do research on what you want. Like, even for specific figures, do research. Because for all you know, a figure may have a very, very flawed issue where it breaks all the time. Gold-to-plastic syndrome. If you don't know what that is, boom, here's an example of research. Your homework is to Google gold-to-plastic syndrome and know what it is. Okay, so let's go back to the table, because I want to give my final tip. Guys, my final tip is to explore. There is such a big world of action figures out there. It is insane. Actually, I just thought of this before I forget. On the research topic, that one Bumblebee I wanted, while I was researching, I discovered that this Battle Blades one is the ultimate Bumblebee figure, and I was really excited to get that. But anyways, going back on the final tip, which, I don't want to be that scatterbrained here. The final tip, it's explore. If you see a figure on the shelf that's really, really cool, don't be afraid to buy it. Don't be afraid to buy something that's out of the ballpark. For me, I do that all the time. Well, not all the time. I mean, if I did it all the time, I'd be bankrupt. But, for example, this Spartan Gabriel Thorne right here. This guy is so cool. He is actually one of my favorite little minifigures I own. Well, not counting Lego minifigs, because those are a completely different beast. But yeah, this guy is so nice. And as an action figure, as a toy, I am so pleased that I got that. Don't be afraid to explore, because there are some great toy lines out there that you might be missing out on. Like Marvel Legends. At first, I'm like, I don't really like Marvel that much. And then I started liking Marvel Legends figures so much, the figures actually made me enjoy Marvel as a whole more. In fact, I believe I prefer Marvel over DC, excluding Batman from DC, because Batman is, he is so, he's DC, but then again, he's his own thing. He's got his own universe going on. But anyways, Marvel Legends, they're such a great line, and if I didn't just take a chance and buy a couple Marvel Legends, I would have never known how cool they were. And another thing, Transformers. I think I got a fair amount of money at some point, I can't remember when, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I grew up with Transformers. I want to see what these new ones are like. So I went to Kmart, Kmart of all places, and I bought myself some of my first Transformers I've ever bought in years. I think that was the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Weaponizers Optimus, Megatron, and the Deluxe Wheeljack and Bumblebee. I think that's what I got, and I am so happy that I did, because Transformers is one of my favorite toy lines. And I felt horrible because I started to just lose my appreciation for Transformers until I got my Dark of the Moon Human Alliance Soundwave. And then it just got reinvigorated, and I remembered why I truly love the toy line. Just, toys are action figures are toys. They're, it's really something special, And if you just stay in a little box, then it's almost like living your life experiencing the same thing over and over again. If some assholes would say, it's like living your whole life fucking the same woman every day, that's why I like cheating on my bitch. Hashtag crude humor, J4. That's why you come here. But yeah, I mean, while morally doing that is not right, when it comes to just collecting inanimate objects, I mean, explore, do different things. I mean, even for video games, it's like all I played when I was a kid was Lego video games and Star Wars video games. And then I got introduced to some of my favorite franchises through video games, like Assassin's Creed. Now Assassin's Creed is complete garbage, but when I got into it, it was really great and going strong. It's just explore, guys. Don't be afraid. When you're first collecting, though, but keep your priorities. It's important to establish your collection before you just go all out. But yeah, guys, I'm being serious. As someone who kind of lives his life spontaneously and likes different things all the time, I hate when things don't change. It's so horrible, and like at least for the better. I like when things change for the better. That's why I love doing those evolution videos. You know, just changing up my collection, changing up what I like, changing up why I collect and why I buy. It's really something that keeps my interest in collecting going. And I don't know about you guys. Maybe some of you might just like to stick to the same old. Maybe you don't experiment. Maybe you're a Star Wars collector and you would never imagine spending $4.99 on a weird little Mega Bloks Halo dude. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I think I should probably tag some people. I want to tag Paul Poo because something about like his collection. It's very out there, and I just want to have. I want to know like what his views on not only his own collecting but also how he feels collecting could be done. That would be interesting to see. I'm trying to think. I know Comic Figure Blog already tagged Darth Phoenix 619. How about Sam Kenobi? Yeah, Sam Kenobi. I think his collection's kind of smaller, and I think he's actually kind of starting out a bit. So it'd be really interesting to see Sam Kenobi's view on it. And one more. Rabbit Hammer. Let's see. Oh, I think Comic Figure Blog already tagged him though. Oh no. Okay, Rabbit Hammer, you just got cut out, Rabbit Hammer. I'm trying to think of the last one. I think I'm just gonna leave it at those two. I think I am. Maybe someone else. Maybe Daniel East 1000. Maybe if I swear if the Comic Figure Blog tagged Daniel East 1000, oh god, I'll just tag an extra though. Crap. I don't know. Forces with Jesse. How about that? I don't think he tagged him. So Forces with Jesse. Forces with Jesse. If you see this, go ahead. If you want to. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's been my, collecting tips, pretty much. Kind of a weird video, honestly, but I had fun making it. That's nice to say. I actually had fun making it. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. This is what happens when you're talking for 13 minutes straight without going, Yeah, your tongue kind of starts giving out. Anyways, guys, have a good day, and as always, may the Force be with you.